The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Is brought to you by All Pro Roofing. AllProRoofingLLC.com on 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
Overheard in the break. Beef announces that we are now doing the 10-minute drill nude on Facebook.
And then we wonder.
We're not live, though, right? You
Yeah.
post it
Oh, it's
later.
live.
No,
Oh,
we're
it's
live. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not putting like the.
What do you think we're doing here?
I'm not putting like the Court TV
And then
blue dots over
Prosser
everything.
responds to Beef's announcement that we're going to do it nude by saying, and I quote, "I wonder if we did do it nude."
If we did it nude.
I'm just glad he embraced the concept.
No, seriously, if we did it nude, how long would it take? Like in how many days
There's no bad idea.
Would we go
it
viral?
Yeah, it would go viral,
Why would
right?
it go viral?
Radio show pledges to do news update nude. We'd call it the nudes update.
Oh, my God.
And then, so I wonder how many, like, ultimately.
I say one day.
Would we
because all you
peak
got
at?
to do is
Yeah, but
post it,
so-
then the New York Post has it.
Okay,
we
but then
finally
tomorrow-
hit the post.
but
you and I would be back.
But to me, viral would be more like like when we do it live, nude, of course. Like, what's the high number that actually watch it live? I know the story itself because you're dumb to do
Radio hosts give new meaning to birthdays soon.
that. Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I think by the end, as it started to pepper around, we'd get up there to a high figure.
We could almost fake it. I don't like. Can you see below waist right there on that?
No,
We're
no.
right.
Right.
So we could
But what if
almost
I
say that
accidentally
we are.
stood up?
Oh my God, the hair,
We'd have to
you
get
people
Dan,
would see.
what they call in the biz a merkin.
Anyway, we digress. Peter King makes an excellent point as we begin another coaching search. And we start it today. Another coaching search. Oh, my gosh. Remember when our franchise had like two coaches for the first, 12, 13, 14 years? That was pretty good.
And ironically, the two best ones we've had.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Well, here's Peter King. It's a good point. So this is worth a listen, boys.
He's pretty good. Peter King's pretty.
It's interesting to look back at the 2018. It's now 2021 coaching vacancies and try to learn from them. So let's look back at 2018 and learn. The third coach hired that postseason was Mike Vrabel. The eighth coach was Frank Reich, the last guy. So Vrabel and Reich. Eighth because the Colts had settled on Josh McDaniels, you'll remember.
Took the job.
But
and
McDaniels decided after the season to stay in New England. So a week after the Eagles scored 41 and won the Super Bowl, Indy chose the Eagles OC Reich. 4 of the 7 are gone. Okay. Johnny Gruden, he's gone. He was only 22 and 31 too, by the way. Stevie Wilkes went urban, 3 and 13 and out the door.
At least he got a full year in.
Remember Stevie Wilkes?
And he didn't grope some 20-year-old at a bar, so he had some things working in his
Pat
favor.
Shurmur, 9 and 23 and 2 seasons with the Giants, gone. Matt Patricia, 13, 29 and 1 in 3 years in Detroit. A fifth, Matt Nagy is 32 and 32 and nearing the end of his 4th season and in danger of not returning for a 5th. Vrabel's 41 and 26 with 2 playoff appearances and likely a 3rd.
And Derrick Henry.
Reich is 38 and 28 with 2 playoff appearances and possibly a 3rd. Look at the wins each has had this season. Vrabel's beaten KC, Buffalo, the Rams, the Colts twice, New Orleans, and San Fran. Reich has beaten Buffalo, New England, blah, blah, blah. Here are the 4 points, though, that we learned from 2018. Number 1 is critical, and I think this makes sense. And it goes against what we always talk about, though.
Okay.
Don't hurry. Don't hurry. In the aftermath of the 2018 regular season, 8 teams had coaching vacancies. Every one was filled in a 4-day early 2019 span between January 7 and 11. That includes informal agreements by the Bengals and Dolphins with Zach Taylor and Brian Flores waiting till their team season will be over. I'm sure the Packers, Matt LaFleur, and Bucks, Bruce Arians, are fine with quick calls, but do you think the Jets, Gase, Browns, Freddie Kitchens are? Why do teams always want to sprint to the finish line when it's been shown time and time again there are coaches like Reich, Bill Belichick, Jan 27, Reich, Feb 11, Mike Tomlin, Jan 22, Tony Dungy, Jan 22, Vrabel, Jan 20th, available with deliberation. Now, I understand why we hurry, because if he's the best candidate and everybody wants to hire him, you want to get that guy. So it's there is a balance there. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, I there's some point there, but I would also say that the Colts just got lucky. They hired someone else.
I understand.
And they got Reich 8th because their guy embarrassed them.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. What if, because you've said you take this guy in a New York second, and I would too.
Okay.
What if the season ends, Ben retires, and Mike Tomlin says, you know what, guys, this is a good time to part ways.
I don't think you wait. You get him.
Well, okay, but that's not going to happen until January 10th,
Oh, you're
11th,
saying
12th.
just to see what happens, yeah.
Yeah. as opposed to you can hire a guy here tomorrow, right?
And by the way, are we sure the Raiders are going to change coaches? If that guy gets them into the playoffs with everything, does he deserve to get another year?
Sure he does.
Right? What jobs are actually going to be open, Hick?
Not a lot.
The other bad
Chicago
teams
might be.
Yeah,
But there might only be like 4 or
Houston,
5.
David Culley's done great with them.
Great.
Keep him.
Should.
Dan Campbell's not going anywhere right away.
No.
Robert Sala's not going anywhere anyway.
No.
So, yeah, I'm with you. The Chicago job, I believe, will open.
Yeah.
But, they're another one. They win a game here and there, but they're out of the playoffs.
All right, here's number 2, another lesson. There's 4 lessons here. And this is obviously, we've talked about this a million times. It makes perfectly good sense, and we don't do it very well. Pair the coach with a GM who's a good partner. In Tennessee, John Robinson, who's a GM, knew all about Vrabel from his days as a scout with New England. Ballard had said he was fortunate because he got to choose Reich after every team had picked their coaches. They got close chemistry, close enough to be brothers. So anyway, we know that. Number 3, also obvious. Don't stop till you get the quarterback right. Tennessee didn't get stuck on Marcus Mariota when he struggled. They traded for Ryan Tannehill. When Andrew Luck retired unexpectedly, Indy went through options at 19 and 20 before settling on Carson Wentz. Still uncertain if Wentz is a top quarterback, but he's better than Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, well, he left out the Phillip Rivers part.
Mm-hmm. Number 4.
What was that the first part of that? I had mild disagreement with. What was the first thing in this second?
Oh, pair the coach with a GM who's a good
the
partner.
next one.
Don't stop till you get the quarterback right.
And the Jags, by the way, that makes it sound like that's a short process. It's not. Like Mariota, was replaced after about 5 years.
Oh, yeah, you keep going.
Yeah.
Let the world and all your players know the coach is in for the long haul. Vrabel's likely to get a rich extension. Reich has already gotten one. They're steady and smart. Players who go to the Titans and Colts know exactly what to expect from the coach. So just stability. And I think that's kind of what we're now
By the way,
looking
that's
for.
2 more assistants.
Also, just for the record, those 2 best coaching hires in 2018 are both in our division.
Yeah,
So congrats.
and here's another thing, too. Because, we say, I'd really like a guy with head coaching experience. That's why you hear Josh McDaniels, you hear Marvin Lewis, you hear Jim Caldwell, you hear Doug Peterson, right?
Uh-huh.
Those guys you just mentioned me, and it, by the way, it doesn't have to be young, energetic, 30-year-old hair gel guy. It could be old, weathered. But I think really, if you look back through the history of the NFL, in finding the next great coach or great coaches, almost exclusively their assistants getting a chance. Bill Belichick, Bill Parcells, both those guys you mentioned. I mean, almost all of it's very rare, I guess, because if a coach is that good, they don't just go somewhere else. But tell me the coach who wins the Super Bowl and goes somewhere else and builds a winner. It happens sometimes, but not all that often.
There are other good anyway, this comes on the news of the Jags reportedly going to interview Caldwell, Peterson, and vetting Leslie Frazier as well.
Yeah.
So all those guys stand out because they're all stable, solid.
Caldwell reminds me a little bit of, it's got some things in common with Arians. They're older, offensive-minded, been around a long time. When given opportunities, they've been very good. I mean, again, forget what Jim Caldwell did with Peyton and the Colts.
Detroit.
What he did with the Lions and what sandwiched around his run.
Right. That's the
They
thing.
were terrible, always picking in the top 3.
Yeah.
Caldwell was there. They went to the playoffs, I think, 2 out of 4 years.
Right.
He left, and they're picking in the top 3 again every year.
But for goodness sakes, please, if you whoever you hire, ask them, who do you want to be your general manager? Can
Or
you
vice
give me
versa.
a guy who's good at picking
Yeah.
dudes?
Yeah.
'Cause we suck at that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
no,
Judy
we
Buck.
got to be
We're
better.
so
They got to
bad.
be coached better. And again, though, every time you think
Talent level is so
it is, but the talent level in Houston is also bad. You got to coach them better. You got to get more out of them. And
That's the
here is
parity
Houston.
thing.
No, but here is Houston, who seem to be developing a rookie quarterback at 10 times the rate that we are.
Yeah. I just don't
Like
want
their guys improved so much from beginning to now.
I
and our
just
guy
don't want to
hasn't.
get too carried away about yesterday's game being, at least, like I said, disgustingly entertaining.
No.
Because the Jets are terrible.
The Jets were down 20 guys on the COVID list. Don't leave that part out.
don't.
We talked about Quincy Williams. Well, he didn't play.
Look, we just played Houston and the Jets back-to-back. They're the 2 other
Yeah,
worst teams in the
sure.
AFC.
Yeah.
And they both had missing a ton of guys.
Need a new
ton of
direction.
guys.
Need a new direction.
And they
for sure.
smoked us.
Yeah. There's
Anyway,
just no
the other
way
thing
around.
I want to talk about, and this is maybe a
Another
little
one.
bit personal, but it's an NFL history, so allow me to go down memory lane for a second. It was Christmas Day, 1971, when
Is this-
8-year-old little Danny Hicken
Okay.
watched the Dolphins and Chiefs with his daddy, Big Jim. And one of the great memories that what a game, though. Still, 50 years later, the longest game in NFL history, I believe.
You know what's that game?
50
That
years.
game also shines a spotlight on my sickness
Okay,
because I'm not quite 5.
right. You remember it?
It's really my first memory of a football game.
It must have been like one of those, and maybe it was a cold winter in the Northeast, or it was Christmas Day. So
we were in
everybody-
Tennessee, but
but-
it was Christmas Day,
Yeah.
and I just remember. Didn't that go like 3 overtimes or
Oh,
something?
yeah.
I just remember the game going on
yeah.
and on.
And you're correct, Dan.
Longest game still.
Longest game over.
Is it 3 overtimes?
No, I think it was in the middle of the second overtime.
But full 15-minute overtimes too, because
Yeah.
now they're 10.
Yeah.
82 plus minutes of game time.
Yeah. So anyway, the star of the game. Here's the thing.
That was a
really,
playoff game, wasn't it?
There's a couple things. Oh yeah.
Halfway through what they called the sixth quarter.
you say, oh yeah, but just so people
Oh
know,
yeah.
that
Playoffs were going on
playoffs,
then.
Yeah,
Yes,
in the
that's
middle
fair.
of December,
That's
you
fair.
got playoffs.
Yeah. But a couple things about that game. Okay. And this is the amazing thing. 17 Hall of Famers in the stadium that day. 14 players, 2 coaches, and the Kansas City owner, Lamar Hunt. And it was a non-Hall of Famer who probably had the greatest game, Ed Podolak,
Ed Podolak.
who, by the way, is still alive. And Peter talked to him. He's 74 now, and he said, I'm an old fogey, and heck yeah, I'm proud of that game. He had 350 total yards
That game,
in that game. But it was another Hall of Famer who lives with and this is another thing that we always talk about. Like we talk about, especially with baseball teams, if we had just won that series, we would have won the whole thing. Well, the story goes in 71, and the Chiefs were very good back then. Remember, they had gone to 2 Super Bowls.
they were just coming off a Super Bowl victory, I think.
Hank Stram thought that was his best team.
They won. Didn't they just win the year before?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hank Stram thought, well, no, the year before it was 2 years. It was
No, because 69 was the
71. So 71 would have been Super Bowl
72.
5, right?
and it was 4 they won, right?
Yes,
they
it was
won.
4.
Yeah,
Okay, over
they were
Minnesota.
coming off a Super
Yeah,
Bowl. Yeah.
Yes. And so he always thought that this particular team was his best team. He thought because they played Baltimore in the AFC Champion. Baltimore won the next week.
Didn't know how
And then-
good that Dolphin team was building into either.
Correct.
Though.
So, but Jan Stenerud. So the Dolphins tie it with like a minute and a half to go. They kick it off, and Ed Podolak returns it 75 yards down to the 22. And Jan Stenerud misses a 31-yard field goal to win it.
Hall
Now,
of
that's
Fame
a
kicker.
chipper,
Yeah.
and he's in the Hall of
He
Fame.
may be the first kicker in the Hall.
He is.
Yeah.
And so imagine your team missing it. So Stenerud, to this day, despite being a Hall of Famer, apparently he got a call from a reporter in 2012. They asked him, they wanted to talk about the game, and he responded with, like, do you also want to talk about my my mom's funeral too? And hung up on him.
Stenerud, I think I hate to label this on him, if not, oh well. But Stenerud wasn't afraid to pull back a nice Camel, no filter Camel in the locker room, I believe.
Maybe you're thinking of Lenny.
Yeah,
in
Lenny
the
also
picture.
would smoke. Yeah, but
A lot of smoking in that Chiefs locker
a
room.
lot of smoking on the sidelines back in
But
the day.
what
He'd
it-
come off the sidelines smoking. Can you? God, things change, man.
But what a game. I mean,
Now, I think that the Dolphins went on that year to lose in the Super Bowl to Dallas.
no, I think they went
and
on
then they
that-
won back to back.
No, I think Baltimore went on to play Dallas
Yeah,
in the
so
Blunder Bowl.
that's what it was, yeah.
And then Miami got going
And then Miami,
the next year.
didn't they lose one and then win 2, or they just won 2?
They went to 3 in a row,
Yeah,
right?
they lost the first one
Yeah,
to
they lost to
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah. And then back-to-back wins,
But anyway, so it was,
including an undefeated season.
yeah.
All right, let's finish the 10-minute drill then with another. The Dolphins, it's all breaking for them.
Oh,
Oh, the schedule's supposed to be so tough. They go to New Orleans night and they get Ian Book. I got news for you. Lay the house on Miami. They're going to win tonight again.
wow.
Yeah, that's going to be 8 straight, right? Or 7 straight.
Ian Book trained here, by the way. a lot,
Yeah,
so
good
that's
for
kinda
him.
fun.
He's a rookie. He's fitting to get slaughtered.
Oh, no.
Think how bad the quarterbacking has been for New Orleans already.
Riley's guy.
Like when they put, yeah, right? He's
Riley's
playing
back.
FSU tonight.
Shout out Riley.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, the bottom line is this. Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian don't scare you, Dan. Imagine how far ahead of rookie Ian Book they are. But, and I hate to be one, I never root for a player to get injured.
No.
It's always nice if you're playing a good team and their top star does. But tonight I will be rooting for Ian Book to pull a hamstring first series.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because then look to the Mississippi River. Here it comes down the channel, pulling right up to the dome. It's the boat.
The boat is ready to roll.
The boat would be walking onto the field if said pulled hamstring happens. I'd like to see Blake Bortles get a chance to play tonight. That would.
Do you want to go to war, Malaki?
Yes, I do. Balaki does not want to go to war. He just wants to go be a backup for 10
wants to
years,
hold the clipboard.
make some money. He doesn't want all that pressure, Dan. He just wants to land on a team.
Beef, by the way, as we head to break here, and I think we have a prize pack to give away,
Oh,
Beef. I'll
it's massive.
But Beef has gone to Twitter with a quickie poll.
Oh.
Do you want Dan and Jeff to do the 10-minute drill nude for one day?
Yeah.
His answers are, quote, fly the freak flag, baby. Or, secondly, I'm a prude and I hate fun. Right now.
Well, I mean, that's not much of a
Right
option.
now,
man. That's
fly-
kind of a,
Two good choices.
it's kind of slanted there, isn't
Right
it?
now,
don't know what you're
fly
talking
the
about.
freak flag, baby, is winning 68.2
Yeah!
to 31.8.
Let's go.
So, Beef, what are we handing out today?
Today's 10-minute drill.
Fly the
is that?
freak
What
flag.
is the show we do every day?
Yeah.
Our 10-minute drill winner today is going to go home with a $25 gift card to ABBQ. That's Texas-style barbecue
Oh.
at the beach.
I have my buddy's daughter works at ABBQ.
Hey.
Okay, so if you go there, you have to give Megan a nice tip, by the way. If you go there, 641-1010. We'll do caller number 3 right now.
Let's go.
Caller number 3 for lunch this week on The Drill. Back with more next.